Okay, you're listening to the Arts House on Cork's 96 FM and C103. We're into the last half hour of the show now. And what I always get excited about is brand new music. And there's a Cork band who are releasing a brand new song during this coming week. Of course, I'm on about the Art Crimes Band. And I'm delighted to be joined on the phone this morning by their drummer and percussionist, Niall Dennehy. Niall, you're very welcome to the Arts House. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Pearse. Thanks for having me on. Thanks for chatting to me.
My pleasure. How are you doing? How have things been and how are things looking now going forward for you guys?
Well, definitely one thing I can say is at the start of the pandemic, nobody thought it was going to last as long as it did.
Yeah,
I think
true.
Me, like everyone else, we thought, by Christmas things will be back to normal and so on. And well, here we are nearly 2 years later. But I definitely think things will slowly get back to normal. I mean, we're being cautiously optimistic at the moment. I mean, it's great to see live music back and live music venues reopening, but we know that could all change in a few months.
Yeah.
So I think, just being cautiously optimistic.
And have you got many bookings now coming in for the months ahead? Are you guys starting to look busy?
No, not really. And that's mostly by choice.
Okay.
Because just before the pandemic, we had made a decision to, after, nearly 10 years of gigging in bars and so on around the country, we would kind of back away from that and start focusing only on pretty much our own music, writing and recording. And then when we get the new album together, going out again and pretty much only doing shows that, are our own shows that are booked for festivals and so on, and nice places like Collins or St. Luke's or Triskel and things like that. So that's the direction we want to go in now.
And what switched the focus in that direction, Niall?
I think, so many bands are artists and so on think you can only do one or the other. It's, you either be full-on covers function band or you only focus on your own material and there's no in between. For years, we thought there was no reason why you couldn't do both at the same time. So even in our shows and in bars and so on, we'd work in our own music. But I think after nearly 10 years of that, we thought, okay, unless we actually make a decision to move into something new, all we'll ever do is just play bars. Not that there's anything wrong with that. But we thought, if people in the band want to do that, let's form a separate band with a separate name and keep doing that. But as the Art Crimes Band, let's start focusing on our own shows and our own music and our own recordings and just, take it to another arena, really,
It's kind of exciting, isn't it? Because you're moving forward as a band, and I guess progress as a band is always a good thing.
It is. I mean, it's very easy to get complacent, and I think that's what happens. A lot of people, they tend, they get stuck in the same kind of like echo chamber all the time, in the same loop. And sometimes you just have to put the foot down and go, right, let's do something new now. Let's move forward. And, it's exciting.
And I guess it's safe to assume that you used this period of time where there was no gigs and nothing happening to write.
We did indeed. And in fact, we had as it happens, I own and run a recording studio as well in the city that we based ourselves out of. So we had a backlog of demos and we already had recordings to be finished. And in fact, our first single that we brought out last year, called In the Dark of the Evening, that was pretty much finished in lockdown. Band members got themselves set up to home record and so on, and I was able to send them what they needed in Pro Tools, and we pieced it all together. So it was kind of handy in a way, because there was a backlog of material to get done and ideas to finish off. I mean, there's some demos here on the hard drive going back to 2014.
Wow.
And that we just never got around or never found the idea to finish. And they're being done now, and hopefully some of them will see the light of day on the upcoming album, whenever that.
And I guess in that time, because when you think of it, that's 8 years ago now. As a band, you've progressed, and relationships between members of the band have progressed. So those songs will take a different light again, won't they?
Well, they will. Our first album that we brought out in 2015, called Radio, I mean, really looking back on it, it was kind of a collection of songs. One of the criticisms people had of it, which was rightfully so, was that it sounded like like an anthology. There was no reoccurring theme between the songs or sound. And I guess, we had been, as individuals, we'd been performing in bands for years, but songwriting was kind of new to us. and we were kind of white belt songwriters, let's put it that way, and we had to kind of develop our skills and grow. And so radio was just kind of like an album that you could hear. We were still searching for our sound.
Yeah.
And then over the years, through just gigging week in, week out, and refining our sound, and we eventually, found that, soul and R&B was kind of the core of what we do, and blues. And so now finally, I think we found our footing, we found our genre and our sound now. And finally, all those ideas will, I think, have a better sound and a better vision now on the new album.
Now, you have a new single coming out on the 4th of February, Guy Like You. Can you tell me what the song's about?
So the song goes back to about, I think, 2017 or 18, and our lead singer, Grace, was swiping on Tinder, and it was a melody that she was humming to herself over and over again. And then I think at about 2 a.m, I get a Facebook voice memo from her singing the chorus of the song so that we could save it. And so that's the genesis of it. What she was noticing was just her kind of criticisms on the general materialistic reasons that people date each other, and that sometimes on Tinder you'd see these people with this giant checklist of credentials before you even swipe right on them.
It's like a sales pitch, isn't it, Niall, rather than romance?
Exactly, yeah, exactly. You need to submit a CV, you have an interview, and things like that. So
and you didn't get the job.
No, exactly, yeah. It's been refused so many times now.
Oh, Lord, yeah.
But no, it was just an observation on that. And so basically the song then was kind of her view on, well, these are all the reasons you should be looking at if you're looking for romance and whatnot. And so that's kind of where the song came from. It's a great song. So she wrote the lyrics, and we all did the music, and so it's from her perspective,
Yeah. Are you excited for the release?
We are, because we had so many setbacks last year. We had hoped, this to be single number 3 by now, anyway. But just with the way things went last year, there was lockdowns again, travel restrictions. So we're excited now that we're back with a new single, and the train is leaving the station again. And we're back rolling,
And if anybody listening to the show this morning, they will get an opportunity to hear the song after this interview. But where can they go to download it or support you in some way?
So they can just go to theartcrimesband.com, and there's links there to everything. We're on Bandcamp, Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, everything, Tidal, whatever you use to listen and to stream music. We're on there, just search us, and the single will be there on Friday. And yeah, you can get it all there.
Fabulous. Now I turn the stage over to you, Niall, and it's your chance now to introduce your new single.
So anyway, this is Guy Like You, the new single from the Art Crimes Band, out on February 4th, and we hope you enjoy it.
I want a guy like you, gotta have a guy like